Assalamualaikum, my name is Naili Batrisyia and my partner Wan Ainuddin will do our speech review on graduation keynote speech by Lisa Kamal and the puzzle of motivation by Dan Ping. Now let's get started with the first slide, which is the speaker background. We start with Lisa Kamal. Lisa Kamal's full name is Lisa Nur Marini binti Muhammad Kamal and she was born in 1997, while Danny Ping, who is 33 years older, was born in 1964. Next, Lisa Kamal grew up in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and she earned a Bachelor of Geological Natural History Survey from University of Wisconsin Madison, also graduated with a major in geology. For Danny Ping, he grew up in Columbus, Ohio. He is a Northwestern University Phi Beta Kappa alumnus, and he received a JD degree from Yale Law School. Both of them are an author. Now we move to the next slide. Speaker objective. Lisa Kamal's objectives are to inspire more students to further their study, and she wants to share what she may think inside her head and really become someone like her today. Other than that, Lisa Kamal's objective is to remind students all their hard work will pay off and just trust the process. Other than that, she wanted to tell everyone never give up on your dream, no matter how hard is it. Now for Danny Ping, we want to explore what motivates people and how company leaders can apply this research to their own organization. And he explained what social scientists know but most managers don't. He is an author of hit provocative books, including 3 long-running New York Times bestseller, A Whole New Mind to Sell Is Humor and Drive.
Look at where you are. Look at where you started. You made it here to the last act. You did it day after day. You made the choice to rise up and give yourself another chance to start over every single morning.
A mismatch between what science knows and what business does. And what worries me as we stand here in the rubble of the economic collapse is that too many organizations are making their decisions, their policies about talent and people, based on assumptions that are outdated, unexamined, and rooted more in folklore than in science.
Next slide is the audience and context for speech. Lisa Kamal's speech are recorded at the Wisconsin Madison University on 15 December 2019. The audience with the range of age about 22 years to 60 years old, and the hall is full. It is more than 1,200 of audience joined the event in the hall. And for Danny Ping, his speech are recorded at the Tech Hall on 26 August 2009. Most of his audience are businessmen and businesswomen, knowledgeable persons. It's up to 100 individuals in the event. Now we move to the next slide. Speech content and structure before the speech. Lisa Kamal being introduced by the provost confidently as the MC in the university. He described Lisa Kamal as someone who earned numerous honors at her academic work. While Danny Ping does not introduce himself, but he opened the speech very strongly when he stated that, "I need to make a confession." The speaker made a great confession about himself that matched with the topic. Both of the speakers, Lisa Kamal and Danny Ping, looked calm and started the speech really well and was in a good posture and used a lot of body movement.
It's now my pleasure to introduce our student speaker, Lisa Kamal, who will offer remarks on behalf of the graduating class. Raised in Malaysia, Lisa had never been to Wisconsin before arriving to UW-Madison as a freshman. Yet few students have embraced what we call the Wisconsin experience as fully as Lisa. She threw herself not only into her studies, but also got involved with many other enriching opportunities we offer here, both in and outside the classroom. A geology major, Lisa earned numerous honors for her academic work, including a Hilldale Undergraduate Research Fellowship, the university's top research grant.
I need to make a confession at the outset here. A little over 20 years ago, I did something that I regret, something that I'm not particularly proud of, something that in many ways I wish no one would ever know, but that here I feel kind of obliged to reveal.
The speech really clear, which to explain about herself, and the opening of Miss Sakama is really memorable because she shared her experience. Lastly, for Daniel Ping, he framed his speech as a case study and not a story. The case that the speaker told the audience emphasized the purpose of the speech as a learning opportunity for the audience. And the opening was really clear as he stated his intention in a very effective manner, drawing fully and the attention of the audience. And the speech opening of Daniel Ping is also memorable.
Thank you, Provost Schultz, for that kind introduction. Thank you, Chancellor Blank, senior class officers, for this incredible honor. Raise a glass to freedom. Raise a glass to all of us, telling the story of today.
Now I will pass this to the next presenter, which is Wan Ainuddin.
Thank you, Miss Naili. Okay, let's continue to the speech body. Mr. Kama delivered each point of the speech sequence. Same goes as Daniel Ping delivered each point of the speech sequence. Mr. Kama used the script presentation by looking clear for the audience to understand. And then she combined every point clearly and gives example. Mr. Kama also can make the audience understand more about students from other countries. And Daniel Ping, he used the slide for the presentation, and he delivered his speech by using example and tell the fact about every point. And he made the first awkward connection between the audience and his topic. Think about your own work. Everybody in this room is dealing with their own version of gender problem.
I see you. There is everyday human experiences that give weight and substance to the certificate you're about to receive. Every sacrifice, every bit of energy you drag out of you every morning, even.
Take a look at this. This is called the candle problem. Some of you might have seen this before. It was created in 1945 by a psychologist named Carl Duncker. Carl Duncker created this experiment that's used in a whole variety of experiments in behavioral science. And here's how it works. Suppose I'm the experimenter. I bring you into a room. I give you a candle, some thumbtacks, and some matches. And I say to you, your job is to attach the candle to the wall so the wax doesn't drip onto the table. Now,
okay, let's continue to the conclusion. Isakama had concluded a good conclusion, which is she told all of us are the dark moment that shaped us from the ground, up the good time that came grateful for the person we became because of it. And we must be strong while having problems and don't give up, because it can make us grow. And Daniel Ping draw a conclusion wisely by using comparison. The speaker stressed about people have to change their perspective about mismatch between the science and business, and maybe they can change the world.
We proudly leave this campus. Remember the dark moments that shaped us from the ground up, the good times that we are grateful for, and the person we became because of it.
so, if we repair this mismatch between what science knows and what business does, if we bring our notions of motivation into the 21st century, if we get past this lazy, dangerous ideology of carrots and sticks, we can strengthen our businesses, we can solve a lot of those candle problems, and maybe, we can change the world. I rest my case.
Okay, let's continue to the delivery skill and technique. Isakama have a strong connection between the audience because the topic is more relevant for the other student and interest to the audience. Then the two humor that can relate with her life, especially the song. She does pause and continue the speech. Besides, her word and phrases easy to understand for the audience. And then Ping managed to make a connection with the audience using the statement of think about your own word. Two statements were humorous and they built connection with the audience. He used varied pace, pauses, emphasis, and volume excellently.
Raise a glass to freedom. Raise a glass to all of us, telling the story of today.
Something that I'm not particularly proud of, something that in many ways I wish no one would ever know, but that here I feel kind of obliged to reveal. In the late 1980s,
And about visual aid, Lisa Kamal did not use any visual aid because she only used her script only. While Daniel Ping, he used the PowerPoint presentation. Just use a simple slide, but it exhibits the most significant visual is the speaker. And then Daniel Ping also delivered the speech with a simple and easy way to understand.
Only to feel so helpless.
if you look at the science, there is a mismatch between what science knows and what business does. And what's alarming here is that our business operating system, think of the set of assumptions and protocols beneath our businesses, how we motivate people, how we apply our human resources. It's built entirely around these extrinsic motivators, around carrots and sticks. That's actually fine for...
Let's talk about physical, gesture, and eye contact. Lisa Kamal looked very confident and poised all the time. The speaker body language are good and move along with her hand. And she always looked down to take a glance over her script from time to time, which may bother the audience. She always smiled on the stage, not just giving speech on the stage. And Danny Ping, he never failed to look confident in front of the audience. His body language and gesture used throughout the speech are excellent. And his enthusiasm and energy come out strongly. And he managed to make his gesture and movement to the large venue.
Junior year of college, listening to the Hamilton soundtrack became my coping mechanism.
Software can do it faster. Low-cost providers around the world can do it cheaper. So what really matters are the more right-brain, creative, conceptual kinds of abilities. Think about your own work.
That's all from us. Thank you.
When I didn't meet them, the person I disappointed the most was myself. My second year in college, I suffered burnout to the point of losing motivation to finish this degree. I'd overwhelmed myself past my breaking point, kept chasing things that would look good on my resume, but I stopped feeling passion for anything I did or learned. And the truth was, all I wanted to do was sleep all the time. I was so desperate to find a spark of enthusiasm, the same one we all overflowed with at the beginning.
Behavioral science, and here's how it works. Suppose I'm the experimenter. I bring you into a room. I give you a candle, some thumbtacks, and some matches, and I say to you, your job is to attach the candle to the wall so the wax doesn't drip onto the table. Now, what would you do? Many people begin trying to thumbtack the candle to the wall. Doesn't work. Some people, and I saw somebody kind of make the motion over here, some people have a great idea where they light the match, melt the side of the candle, try to adhere it to the wall. It's an awesome idea, doesn't work. And eventually, after 5 or 10 minutes, most people figure out the solution, which you can see here. The key is to overcome what's called functional fixedness. You look at that box and you see it only as a receptacle for the tacks, but it can also have this other function as a platform for the candle. The candle problem. Now, I want to tell you about an experiment using the candle problem done by a scientist named Sam Glucksberg, who's now at Princeton University in the US. This shows the power of incentives. Here's what he did. He gathered his participants and he said,
That's all from us. Thank you.